I was known to the public as a spy, and then I became a victim of the spy. Subsequently, I was innocent. People started, sympathizing for this. But I never wanted anything. I never created anything. I didn't want to become a spy, or I didn't want to become a victim of the spy.
Hi everybody, welcome to Qurius. Between 2009 to 2013, 11 Indian nuclear scientists have died unnaturally. Some had died in blasts, some drowned, while some had taken their own lives. To maintain their superiority, the US and its allies have been accused of carrying out assassinations, war on false pretexts, and other nefarious activities which are off the book. The prominent victims of these sins are claimed to be bright scientific minds of those nations which have the capability to surpass these superpowers. Coincidentally, the mysterious death of India's premium scientist allegedly draws links with the notorious USA secret agency CIA. Interestingly, the mysterious deaths of Indian nuclear scientists is not a recent phenomenon. Homi Jahangir Bhabha was an influential Indian nuclear physicist who often referred to as father of Indian nuclear program. He founded the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research and Atomic Energy Establishment, later named the bhabhaatomicresearchcentre. His support for space science projects contributed to the establishment of Indian space program. Several conspiracy theories have emerged regarding the air crash that took the life of Dr. Homi Bhabha. Some of these theories suggest that involvement of foreign intelligence agencies, particularly CIA, in an attempt to sabotage India's nuclear program. Gregory Douglas, a controversial figure known for conspiracy theories, claimed to have had conversations with the former CIA operative Robert Crowley. In Douglas's book, Conversation with the Crow, Crowley allegedly asserted that CIA was responsible for assassinating both Homi Bhabha and Prime Minister Shastri in 1966, within a short time frame to hinder India's nuclear ambitions. According to this theory, a bomb in the cargo section of the plane exploded mid-air, causing the crash in the Alps. Vikramsarabhai was a pioneering Indian scientist and space visionary who played a pivotal role in India's space program. His most enduring legacy was the establishment of Indian Space Research Organization in 1969, recognizing the potential of space technology to address India's developmental challenges. He founded the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station in Kerala, launched India's first satellite Aryabhatta in 1975. Often called the father of Indian space program, his untimely death in 1971 was significant loss to Indian science and space exploration. On the evening of December 30, 1971, Vikramsarabhai was scheduled to assess the SLV design before his departure for Bombay later that night. He had a telephonic conversation with apjabdulkalam. Unfortunately, just an hour after their conversation, Sarabhai passed away at the age of 52 due to a cardiac arrest in Trivandrum. Unfortunately, no scientific enquiry, no postmortem was conducted regarding the sudden death of Vikramsarabhai, and his body was cremated in Ahmedabad. Dr. S. Nambi Narayanan is Indian scientist and aerospace engineer born in 1941, is celebrated for his significant contribution to India's space program. His career began at ISRO in 1960s, where he played a pivotal role in developing liquid propulsion technology, notably the Vikas engine used in vital launch vehicles. Nambi Narayanan received prestigious awards including the Padma Bhushan. Unfortunately, he faced false espionage accusations. In 1994, a Maldivian woman was arrested in India under the suspicion of selling secrets from ISRO scientists to Pakistan. This led to the arrest of 3 scientists, including Mr. Narayanan, who held the position of Director of Cryogenic Engine Technology at ISRO. They were accused of sharing official secrets related to space technology, launch missions, and specifically Vikas engine technology, cryogenic engine technology, and PSLV flight data drawings with Pakistan. Another scientist, D. Sasikumaran, had alleged that CIA had a major role in fabricating the case. The case was initially handled by Kerala police but was later taken by CBI. The CBI recommended closing the case due to complete lack of evidence and highlighted the significant flaws in the police investigation, which relied on questionable methods and mere suspicion. Lokanathan Mahalingam was a distinguished DRDO scientist and director of Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. He was the senior scientific officer at the training center of Kaiga Atomic Energy Station. While working at Kaiga Atomic Power Station in Karnataka, apparently he went out for a morning walk and never returned. His body was found 5 days later. While the incident was not quite covered by the Indian media, some serious questions were raised regarding the death. Many claimed that if Mahalingam was training scientists with nuclear reactor simulator, why his body was cremated before tests were released. One of the many questions raised, along with the claims that Mahalingam's employee Ravi Mule was also murdered a few weeks before him. Umang Singh and Partha Pratim, two young nuclear scientists at Bhabha Atomic Research Centre, tragically died in mysterious fire on December 30, 2009 in Centre's Radiation and Photochemistry Laboratory. Intriguingly, forensic reports found no inflammable material in the room, suggesting possible foul play. Their families remain unaware of the cause of their deaths, despite the Department of Atomic Energy ruling out any connection to radiation or radioactive reactors in the fire. Mahadevan Padmanabhan Iyer, a Bhabha Atomic Research Centre engineer, was discovered deceased at his home on February 23, 2010. Due to the absence of fingerprints or any conclusive clues at the scene, forensic labelled the cause of death as unexplained, leading to a halt in the investigation. However, the police attempted to link the death to unnatural sexual activity that Iyer may have had engaged in before his demise. It was revealed that Iyer was a homosexual, and police even explored various gay parties for evidence, but their efforts were fruitless. Ultimately, the case was closed in 2012. Uma Rao, a retired scientist from Bhabha Atomic Research Centre, took her own life at the age of 63 due to chronic depression. She left a suicide note where she didn't blame anyone for her actions. However, her colleagues were surprised because they hadn't noticed any signs of depressions or suicidal thoughts in her. Her body was found at her home in 2011, and while the official cause of death was ruled as suicide, her family disagreed with this determination. Mohammad Mustafa, a scientist at Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research in Kalpakam, was just 24 years old when he was discovered inside his quarters in 2012, having slashed his own wrist. While the police found a death note supposedly written by Mustafa, it did not provide a reason for his suicide. Mustafa had joined IGCR only a year prior, and he had recently become a confirmed employee there. He was considered mentally stable and wasn't under significant work pressure. Abhish Shivam, a 33-year-old engineer at INS Arihant, India's first nuclear-powered submarine, was found dead alongside KK Joshi, a chief engine room officer at the shipbuilding center near the railway tracks near Pendurthi railway station in Visakhapatnam. They were poisoned before being placed on the tracks to make it appear as if they had met with an accident. These deaths were not widely covered by Indian media and were treated as routine accidents. Titus Pal, a 27-year-old employee at BARC, was discovered dead in Trombay. She was found hanging from the ventilators in her campus residence. Her father informed the police that Titus had been in good spirits when she left Kolkata for Mumbai and started working at BARC. Surprisingly, Titus took her own life just 3 days after celebrating her birthday with family and friends in Kolkata. Dalia Nayak, a senior researcher at Saha Institute of Nuclear Physics, passed away in 2009 under tragic circumstances. A 35-year-old, she allegedly consumed mercury chloride and died in the hospital the following day. Her neighbors had rushed her to the hospital after hearing the scream. Despite initial police suspicions of depression and suicide, Dalia's colleagues described her as fun-loving and efficient person. She was an associate professor in chemistry department and had been working at SINP since 2005, initially as a chemist scientist and later researching radioactive materials before her unfortunate demise. Tirumala Prasasa Tenka, a 30-year-old scientist at Raja Ramanna Center for Advanced Technology, reportedly died by suicide in 2010. The police discovered a note in which Tirumala mentioned that reason for his suicide was being mentally tortured by his seniors. He was found hanging in his residence in Indore. This incident adds to the list of unsolved deaths of prominent scientists in India in the recent years. There have been 197 reports of suicide by prominent scientists in the last 15 years. Most of these deaths are labeled suicide. The most pressing issue isn't who might be behind the murders, but the Indian government's apathy in potentially putting their high-value staff at even greater risk. Currently, these scientists, who are crucial to the development of India's nuclear programs, whether for energy or security, have absolutely no protection at all, which is quite amusing for the people who are in such sensitive program. All these deaths under mysterious circumstances clearly indicate a conspiracy by foreign hands who want to create impediments in India's nuclear program and weaken India's security. The government has so far never instituted a fact-finding mission to ascertain this, turning a blind eye to this disturbing chain of events. What are your thoughts? Do let us know in the comment section below. Join us next time. Until then, stay informed, stay curious. Thank you.